Next, we're going to talk about recommendations from prep coaches. I hear a lot of times from recruits, my coach isn't sending out my film, not getting recruited, I don't have a chance. It's not totally up to your coach to get noticed. It's up to you as we're going over these 7 strategies. There's a lot of things that you can do, but I want you to understand that, from my previous positions, I would sit and hear coaches all day long make calls over and over and over, all times of years, especially kind of in the off season, recruiting's really big. They would just call up coaches. Hey, can you tell me who's a great player in your area that no one's talking about? Who's a great up and coming player that I just have to come see? And coaches get recommendations from, prep coaches. They get recommendations from your coach, from rival coaches, from coaches that you play against, last season or this upcoming season. Coaches in the area, a lot of coaches talk and they hear a lot of buzz about certain players in the area, so they will usually tell these college coaches like, hey coach, so-and-so in our county, you need to come check him out, he's a great player. So understand that it's not always dependent on your coach sending out your film, that there's, once again, as I keep saying, there's eyes everywhere. Well, coaches are assigned certain areas. Usually it's based on where they're from, where they've recruited before, where they already have established relationships. So a lot of times your high school coach, especially if they've been around for a few years or several years, they have connections with a lot of coaches. So if they feel that you're a quality player for a certain program, you can, try to talk to your coach and say, Coach, I'm really interested in XYZ program. Can you please give them a call? Here's their contact information. Maybe the coach knows someone there. And in most cases, college coaches will take phone calls from prep coaches. It's just a good way to do business. And, they will return their calls or take their information. But that's another way to get your foot in the door, especially if it's a coach, they might have established relationships already. A lot of times you don't even know. They might have went to college together. They might have went to high school together. They might have been at coaching conferences before. So there's a ton of connections, and college coaches are always trying to build relationships with prep coaches. So, that's a great way to kind of get your foot in the door, especially if you have a prep coach that, has been around for a couple years, already has relationships. But regardless, it's still, a way to get your name out there, especially if you're a quality player for a certain program. You can ask your coach, to make a phone call or send an email for you. And that's another way to get your foot in the door.